using that technology against whoever they like, for whatever personal reasons they like. The technology is designed to be unaccountable. It's designed to be untraceable. It's designed to hide itself. It's designed to remove traces of its activity. It's designed to throw off people looking to see where there are fingerprints that might demonstrate who authored that technology. And that is done by collecting viruses and malware from mafia and various groups in other states and assembling them. That's something that we published, that there's a whole section of the CIA working on something called Umbrage, which is designed to do that. And we have quite a lot more material that talks about these attempts to throw off attribution, to discover who was really behind a particular cyber attack. Already, an antivirus expert has come forward to say that a sophisticated malware that he had attributed to a state, either Iran, China, or Russia, now he believes actually is from a Central Intelligence Agency, because the type of attack system it uses corresponds directly to a description that we published of that attack system, and it's rare enough that it seems unlikely it would be independently discovered. Unless, of course, that China has already gotten hold of these parts of the CIA arsenal, and that China is using them to pretend to be the CIA. Is the CIA causing commercial damage to companies through these practices? Yes, potentially billions of dollars of damage. Because if, say, you're in China, which is now the world's largest economy, and you run a company and you want to equip all your employees with particular phones or particular computers, do you trust that if you go and buy a Dell computer or a computer running Microsoft or an Apple phone, can you trust that it's not vulnerable to these CIA attacks? Well, because Apple and Dell and so on are all based in the United States, when it's understood that the US government is breaching previous promises that it has made, which is to tell US industry about these vulnerabilities, then it starts to look like that the US government and US industry is in cahoots. And then you can't trust any exports from the United States. So one report just at the time of the Edward Snowden revelations suggested that that practice by the National Security Agency of imperiling US industry would cost $40 billion in exports. So this sort of behavior by the Central Intelligence Agency, undermining those commitments by the Barack Obama administration to tell US technology companies about vulnerabilities before they were exploited by foreign intelligence agencies or by cyber mafia. That breach of promise decreases trust both in the US government but also in US exports. What is the role of the US consulate in Frankfurt? At the US consulate in Frankfurt, our publications reveal, is a CIA hacker base that people go there from the Central Intelligence Agency. They are given instructions about how to get past German customs, and they operate out of that hacker base to attack targets within Europe, within Africa, and within the Middle East. If you look at the consulate, that's quite remarkable. It's an enormous complex. There was something like 2,000 people working there. They're not all computer hackers. They're presumably other elements of the Central Intelligence Agency and some genuine consular work. But the German press is quite concerned about it, and the chief prosecutor of Germany who corresponds in some ways to the US Attorney General, being an equivalent position. His name is Peter Frank, and he announced yesterday that the German government is conducting a preliminary investigation to see if it will launch a major probe into the activities being conducted out of that consulate, and also more broadly whether people in Germany are being attacked by the Central Intelligence Agency. I suppose that my analysis is, and it's borne out to a degree by our documents, is that, well, that consulate is in Schengen, so it's in the open border area of Europe. Once you're there, you can go out to 25 different countries, Italy, Switzerland, France, etc., and attack targets there. And you go, well, okay, but the Central Intelligence Agency hackers, why do they need to go into Europe at all physically? I mean, can't they just hack from Langley, Virginia? Well, they can hack some types of attacks from Langley, Virginia, maybe even the majority. But there's many other types of attacks that the CIA has developed, which involve getting physically close to someone or to their computer system, or slipping in very quickly a USB into, say, the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs or export, and having that malware then go into the computer system, steal things, and pull it back onto the USB, and then walking off. So those types of proximal attacks require physical proximity. And so once you're in Schengen,